Ahead of the next DC movie's release, director Zack Snyder shared his own excitement for the leading hero. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Please like, share and subscribe for more. Even after Snyder's falling out with Warner Brothers following his run with the Snyderverse, some of his characters will still be used moving forward, uniquely connecting him to the new set of movies and TV shows beginning in 2024. He's also helped the franchise during its current course of action, taking to social media to celebrate movies like The Flash while offering praise and support to new DC Studios co-CEOs James Gunn and Peter Safran in their new endeavor. Former DC director Zack Snyder just shared his hype for the oncoming DCU reboot's first superhero. Snyder also shared a promotional image from the movie featuring Xolo Maridueña's titular hero standing in the rain fully suited up in his Blue Beetle costume with his sword materializing out of his arm. Posting on his X, formerly Twitter account, DCU mainstay Zack Snyder celebrated the upcoming theatrical release of Blue Beetle. Highlighting the Latino representation this film will bring to the superhero movie landscape, Snyder expressed his excitement to take his kids to see the movie when it debuts on August 18. This comes after Gunn confirmed that Blue Beetle would actually be the first superhero developed for the new rebooted DCU, even though Superman Legacy will be the new franchise's first full movie when it arrives in 2025. Blue Beetle director Angel Manuel Soto shared a response to Snyder on his own X account, thanking the former DCU director for the kind gesture and expressing how much it means to have Snyder's support. "Thanks, teacher. Thank you for this kind gesture. As a fan of your movies and an admirer of yours since you were doing commercials, you have no idea how much this gesture means to me and to the culture, and while the current financial outlook for Blue Beetle isn't looking good ahead of its debut, the character seems to have a bright future ahead of him as Gunn and Safran's story develops further. Since plenty of changes are still being made to the end of the current DCU slate before Snyder's work is left behind, it's hard to tell exactly how Blue Beetle will be integrated into everything being developed for the next few years. With Xolo Maridueña's Jamie Reyes being the first superhero of many to take a spot in the oncoming DCU reboot, seeing Zack Snyder's support should only help the franchise see some level of success moving forward. On top of this film, Gunn continues to add new actor names to the upcoming roster of superheroes for his reboot, with fans hopeful that Maridueña will have the right opportunity to bring his own magic to that lineup. Blue Beetle will debut in theaters on Friday, August 18th. The polarizing scene from Man of Steel, the existence of Zack Snyder's unfiltered epic vision of Justice League, was only made possible due to the fans, and Snyder bows down to them. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Please like, share and subscribe for more. As a tireless campaign spread through social media like a plague, DCU fans hounded Warner Brothers for years before the studio finally conceded to fan demand. The resulting Snyder's Cut, with an extended 4-hour-long vision of the director's ambitious story, made the fans resent WB even more for rejecting his planned 5-movie arc for Justice League. However, the director knows when not to push his luck in the ever-changing game of Hollywood musical chairs, although Snyder gives credit where it is due. The DC Extended Universe has had its fair share of problems, but the most objectionable of them was Zack Snyder's third film, Justice League, which went through hell and back to reach the audience in its purest, uncensored form. As difficult as it may have been for Snyder and the studio to find common ground, it would not have been possible without the DCU fans. The little details that stood out in the theatrical cut of the film sent a wave of dissent and anger throughout the world as fans took to social media to launch a movement titled #ReleaseTheSnyderCut. The campaign became so powerful over the years that it led to the now infamous WB shakedown in 2021 in a historic win for movie fans. Making a 100-year-old studio bow down to fan demand is not a meager achievement. The collective love for the DC Extended Universe was such that it made the fans absolutely livid to think about missing out on Zack Snyder's raw vision for his movie universe after he left the Justice League production due to a family tragedy. Meanwhile, Warner Brothers quickly arranged for a replacement who oversaw the post-production and editing of the film, although most of it was already done by Snyder before his exit. But Joss Whedon's PG-washed cut of the film was an atrocity that did not deserve a place in the grim-dark reality of the DCU, and the studio should have foreseen the drastic difference in Whedon's and Snyder's filmmaking styles. Although not an entirely suitable method of handling rejection, the DCU fans did everything in their power to stand up to studio censorship and the oppression of creativity. The fans and their online social media campaign turned Zack Snyder's Justice League into a reality, and despite not having the final 2 movies of the director's Envision saga, the DCU is a little better for having the director's cut in the bag. However, when it comes to the fan movement that turned toxic in Snyder's favor, the director has little to say, let alone criticize his fans for standing up in his favor and saving his film from studio politics. In 2023, Rolling Stones uncovered a Warner Media report that revealed that the online fan campaign was bolstered by fake bot accounts that later turned dangerous, insofar as to send death threats to studio executives if they failed to greenlight the Snyder's Cut and restore his film universe. However, in Snyder's eyes, the existence of the bot accounts told a different story altogether. The truth is, it doesn't matter. The movie got made. If they were smart enough to employ bots in this thing, then they won. That movie has no business existing, and it does. I'm not going to comment on the details of whether they are good or bad, whether they are toxic or bullying. That's in every chat room. It's what comes with the internet. But I do know that the work they did on some level was good. I can say for a fact that they did good. That is undeniable. The overwhelming fan pressure from the campaign and the volatile in-house climate at Warner Brothers was documented in Sean O'Connell's book, Release the Snyder Cut, the crazy true story behind the fight that saved Zack Snyder's Justice League. The fan-led fight is still regarded as one of the biggest movements that has ever swept over social media. Zack Snyder's Justice League was released on HBO Max in 2021 and is currently available to stream on Max. In a 2023 interview with The Hollywood Reporter, when asked about the toxic campaign of the Snyderverse Legion and the eventual cyber harassment and threats made against Warner Brothers personnel, the director claimed, "Featuring Pa Kent and Clark is Christopher Nolan's favorite moment from the movie." Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Please like, share, and subscribe for more. Although Nolan didn't explicitly discuss his take on the entire conversation between Pa Kent and Clark, he did have reservations about the most polarizing moment in the movie, the ending. Coming off the success of The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan, who served as a producer on Man of Steel, recommended Zack Snyder for a gritty and grounded Superman story. Nolan, who has been an admirer of Snyder's knack for iconography, deemed the conversation between a young Clark Kent and Pa Kent, played by Kevin Costner, his favorite scene, via THR. The moment in Man of Steel where Kevin Costner tells young Clark that whatever his origin, he's still his son puts a lump in my throat every time. It's easy to see where Nolan is coming from, as witnessing a parent's unconditional love for their child unfold on screen can truly touch heartstrings. But beyond Pa Kent's love for his son, it's the advice that preceded that statement that had divided fans, the suggestion that Clark should have let the kids die to protect his identity. While it's understandable why Pa Kent won't want Clark's powers to be exposed, his comments are a departure from what fans have come to expect from Pa Kent, who often offers guidance for his son. David S. Goyer revealed that both he and Snyder found the conclusion unsatisfying, and eventually convinced Nolan to incorporate the uncomfortable scene by putting Superman in a corner. Superman snapping Zod's neck was a major no-no for